even famous.
What you mean?
I'm great at reading people's characteristics. I'm a very spiritual person, and I know who's who when I encounter them. And if you give me enough time around, you'll understand exactly who you are. You heard it, I got to understand exactly how I need to use you in my life, or I don't need to be next to you. And at that point in my life, it was only two decisions. It was either go to the street or play your position. Yeah, nigga, you a boss and you helped put everything together. This whole shit started in my grandmother's house. Mase, Cam, Bloodshed, all of that shit started out my grandmother's house. Everybody got signed living with me in my grandmother's house, with me, not with them. They was all living with me. This where the whole nucleus and everything started from right then and there, and shit like that. And moving forward and shit like that, I had a decision to make over childish things that I seen people be doing childish things and shit like that. And I was like, well, if this is what you want, if you feel this is gonna be your way out of this hell we living in, which was Harlem, you dig?
Yeah.
At the time, out of the hood, out of the projects, you have to play your position and shut the and do your job as a complete soldier and make sure nothing happened on your watch, and that's all you could do. And can't nobody hold nothing against you for that. And that's what I chose to do. And
so you seen this shit before it happened, is what you tell, like everything.
Mm-hmm. It started with Mase. He didn't do the right thing.
That's the one question I wanted to ask you. I'm a little bit too young to understand. Like I just was able to be like a teen.
I watched Mase shit on Cam and everybody around him.
Wow.
A bitch like all the time. You heard? Like I was there the whole time, but I was Cam's man. You heard? Cam and Mase were so-called best friends, grew up together, and R.I.P. Huddy. Like I was there for everything. That's one thing that people can't never say is that I wasn't there for every single thing. Cam enemies were my enemies. Okay. Anybody Cam didn't like, I didn't like. And I already see how he was handling Cam, so I definitely didn't like him. You dig? And then I seen how much love Cam had for him and how Cam was jumping out the window for him, which a friend should and shit like that. Like, being overprotective, making sure nothing happened. Like, he was trying his best to make sure that Mase stayed as safe as possible, but Mase had got that money and lost his motherfucking mind, as he's supposed to, man. He grew up in a kid that doesn't have what most of us had, and he was probably more or less fortunate than most of us. Didn't have the sneakers, didn't have all that shit coming up. So him having the first bit of success out of all of us and really get into a bag, he just went crazy like most people do and shit like that. Shit, I had my times where I went crazy with that bag, just be too much. Yeah. You dig? But the people I loved, I still love them today. You know what I mean? The people that I consider to be the ones that's gonna help me in this journey, I still love them today, and we still have great relationships and shit like that. It ain't got nothing to do with Cam and them and shit like that. We all have our own group of people that help us. So I seen crazier shit happen. I know brothers that shot brothers and shit like that. So for friends to get back after a world of whatever they went through, it's not surprising to me and shit like that. But I see they don't talk about the days of being shit on, you heard? They don't talk about the things that separated them and shit like that. So, it's funny. But kudos to them, man. They got a dope show. Who am I to hate on what they got going on, man? I hope they make $1 trillion. I seen Mase fire his brother, kick him out the limo in the middle of the highway and shit like that. You heard? His old brother. That nigga's vicious. But he coming back off the road from, I think, a bunch of tours and shit like that. Get off the plane. And Mase got the brand new Mercedes drop burgundy, pull up to the airport. Skirt, the car dealer bring that shit outside the airport. 2-door joint, brand new stickers on that bitch. That nigga going crazy, right? Joking and shit like that with Cam and shit. That nigga jumped in the shit by himself with skirt off. I said, yeah, this nigga is a different type of animal. This nigga don't care about nothing. Word up. Nah, then he had us in a row with him, because this was Cam started doing the hype man for him, and then we started doing some tour. I would be hyping Cam, so now I come out. So now he got us hyping both of them. Nigga had us doing dance moves, like coordinated dance moves on the speaker and shit like that. I never forget this shit, like matching outfits, coordinated dance moves, like what show? Well, Cam bust out that shit like, we ain't doing this shit no more. Fuck all these niggas, man. Fuck everybody, man. Kill one of these niggas. That was the last time we seen them until it is what it is, you heard?
Keeping it Cam right now. He just did the interview with 50.
For the younger audience, we had like a rap battle thing at one time. And 50, what you did, so we was having interior problems at Dipset. Nobody knew about this. Nobody knew that we was like not on the same page.
Right.
So when me and you were battling during our music thing, you got members of Dipset to come to your show.
Them niggas be on my dick, right? Them niggas ain't got nothing else to think about but Capo. I did a lot for them niggas in their life. You heard? Both of them. Pause though. Get off of my dirt. There's only space on there for baby girl, man. Come on, man. Tugging on my shit like that.
Yo, you never clear shit up, and we never hear your side of the story. Cam was like, I thought we could pull it together. Next thing I know, I see Jim performing with
That nigga ain't think nothing. He could pull nothing together. He couldn't do nothing with me. He couldn't tell me nothing, nigga. Like, let's not get this shit twisted. Like, nigga, nobody could tell me nothing, nigga. I was my own boss. I did what I did as a fucking soldier, because I was a soldier, nigga. You heard? I had the soldiers. Niggas didn't tell me nothing. You heard? I did what I wanted to do. I seen the shit wasn't going right, so I started doing what Jim Jones needed to do for Jim Jones, because the nigga that was supposed to be the Don wasn't taking care of the Capo. Started feeling like the Gotti movie, you heard?
But what was the point where you realized I'm gonna have to do what the fuck I gotta do, because this shit.
I mean, it was
definitely the last straw.
There's nothing in my memory like, yo, that was the last show, but it was just the sequence of the way things was going, and then it came to a point where I had to worry about who Jim Jones was moving forward. Then I was worried about anybody else, because nobody else was worried about me. I got to a point where I became famous too. There was a point where all the famous people know me. Then after that, it was like, shit, I'm just as famous as all the famous people.
Dipset and Camron had problems.
50, what you did, so we was having interior problems at Dipset. Nobody knew about this. Nobody knew that we was like not on the same page.
Right.
So when me and you were battling during our music thing, you got members of Dipset to come to your show. And I'm like, so I'm sitting there like,
that was
this is kind of smoke, because I wouldn't have thought about reaching out to Yayo or Lloyd Banks. I'm like, niggas going public with this?
I'm like, yo.
What was your thought process behind saying, yo, you know what? Songs. How did this work? How did it go?
That beef was one of the wildest moments in hip-hop history.
Put Camron on the phone.
And you know.
Put Camron on the phone.
Hang on.
It wasn't just because both of them were determined never to take an L, but also because they were both top-tier trolls.
So you can shut down diplomat projects?
I'm not talking about diplomats. Cam, you really want that?
No, that's what I was asking. Can you do it? That's what I'm asking.
What I'm saying.
Now I must be paying. I effed up and when they got beef with 50 Cent.
And you could tell at any given moment things could probably go from jokes to serious. Every clapback was chaos, and it felt like the whole world couldn't look away. The two have obviously worked past their differences. In this clip, the two sit down and talk about their past problems.
50, what you did, so we was having interior problems at Dipset. Nobody knew about this. Nobody knew that we was like not on the same page.
Right.
So when me and you were battling during our music thing, you got members of Dipset to come to your show. And I'm like, so I'm sitting there like,
that was
this is kind of smoke, because I wouldn't have thought about reaching out to Yayo or Lloyd Banks. I'm like, niggas going public with this?
I'm like, yo.
What was your thought process behind saying, yo, you know what? Fuck the songs. How did this work?
Let me say this.
How'd it go?
I was there. I'm in your horse and carriage video. I'm in the pool.
What? You know what? You told me this.
Your horse and carriage video.
You told me this before.
I was in the pool in the horse and carriage.
Wow, that's crazy.
So if you look, like we're on, everybody's there.
Right.
Jimmy was not a rapper then.
Right.
He was your man, like on the side, like in the side, just he was not a rapper at all.
Right.
So when Ballin' took place, and I'm looking and I'm going, oh, he having a moment. That's the Lloyd Banks. It's Lloyd Banks thing. He wanted that. He was watching them be that, like Mase be that, and Cam be that, and looked at, and it was finally he had one. Mm-hmm. And I just looked, and I knew I just took the shot, Murder, to see, because I wasn't sure he was gonna go for it. Mm-hmm. But I was like, we like Jimmy better than you anyway, Cam. You gotta watch to see how he responds. And then you see, he like, oh shit, he really like that. Hey, give me this, get me Jimmy. Yeah, tell him we want him. We want you at the show, Jimmy.
And I'm back. It's your boy 50 Cent bringing you more Rap City. It's going down right here. I know this is your favorite show right now because I'm on it. And I told y'all earlier I was going to bring somebody new in the G Unit. I might have a new signing, I might not. You see, I got the whole G Unit here. We're going to get it going. What you got back there? Oh, man. Hey, what you know? What you know?
What's good?
It's your man Jim Jones right here. Bought you the biggest record of last year, right?
Oh yeah, we had a nice
what we call that one? What we call that one?
I was balling, we still balling. What's poppin', big baby?
Yes, sir. Was balling. You know, so
man, we got this.
So why was you here? Well, we gotta do that one time. Tell me how to show you how you do it.
You got to pass me the ball for
That's how we gotta do that.
Throw you the ball, baby.
You know what I mean?
Shit, we here. I just came to show some support. You know, I respect Gina G Unit is one of the few movements that I do respect in this game and things like that. You know me, I'm a hustler, so I'm always open for money and things like that.
But that's what this is. This is the ultimate hustler version of Rap City right here.
It's still diplomats though, baby.
Yeah, let's talk about how like what you got going on.
Oh, now you know I got a new deal pending. I don't want to break no hearts and shake the tables too much, but somebody to offer me a whole bunch of money that I can't refuse and things like that.
Well, but, don't blow that till negotiations is done.
I'm not going to blow that up too much, but I think it's pretty much done. You dig? But besides that, the album coming out, you'll look forward to that Bird Gang album, Dipset, G Unit. Don't be scared.
That's right. We brought you Jim Jones. We brought you Jim Jones, and be surprised because we got more surprises to come. More Rap City.
Yeah, but that was one of those things I just threw it out and see what. And then when he bit to it because it was like he was having a moment that not sure that was going to ever happen again at that point. And then he's going, for them, they had records that were, look, I always say this to certain artists, I go, damn, when is he going to have his moment? Like, Fab, I said this to him. Mm-hmm. I said, damn, but you really, I think his, cuffing season was that fun. But it wasn't it wasn't a hit like that because it was talking exactly about what was going on at the moment. But the way he brought La Marina and all of the stuff, it was the hottest joint.
What was going
on
that
exactly
summer. At the time. In the time.
So I'm like, yo, that I jumped on the remix because the record was going without us. Like, so I was like, yeah, I'm
right.
I got you. I do that, and then like we performed that joint. How many times did we perform that record on tour?
Yeah,
a couple of times. Because it felt like a 50 Cent record to me. Like I was like, this is a hit. Like, but he didn't have like for a lyricist like a guy that's that intricate. But the writing, he didn't have a full on moment that was like Fab's the nigga. Period. Right now, like he had a lot of hit records on R&B artists, like a lot of real hot verses that came, but it was on somebody else's joint.
Right.
It's like, look, Dirk's run is like that. Dirk's biggest records are somebody else's record that he's on, instead of his solo records by himself. Like the solo records make your hair stand up because they're talking some killer shit on there. But the records that really made them a success is usually a collaboration between him and another artist that they're working on. But I was looking, going, when are you gonna have that moment specifically? And I know Jimmy was looking at that like it was someone else at the top of our culture acknowledging.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. How you felt when Jim did that shit, Cam?
So it's over. What the fuck are you talking about? They said, well, it just seems like it's one me. I say, yo, he puts people out of business. I gotta respond. That's worth everything.
Had the same kind of vehicles Obama had.
All right, y'all gotta.
Curtis, Yo, Curtis, how much did Mobb Deep sell this year?
You're not gonna be. You can already cause a whole different situation. Watch this.
Curtis, how much?
Let's not make it a different situation.
He thinks that it's good. He thinks that it's good to go in the competition. I'm not gonna stop competing.
How much did the Mob sell, Curtis?
Both rappers quickly took the feud to the booth, releasing diss tracks aimed at
my bills. Sprint is not playing. Listen.
I'm so broke I can't pay my rent. Now I must be paying. I effed up and went and got beef with 50 Cent.
Yo, love, I told these niggas this. I'm like, yo, the man puts people out of business. You got to say something. Then one officer's like, yeah, he does, man. He does. It's like, it's just on me. Y'all going to talk to him? Like, they like, yeah, his flight is late. We're going to have a conversation with him, too. So the more of the story is, like I said, Dipset at that time kind of really wasn't on the same page, but it wasn't public, external. Yeah. And I was like, maybe I could fix this shit before it gets out of hand. And that's where my mind frame was at. But then when niggas went on stage, I'm like,
yeah, that was Apollo.
Shit that spun out of nigga. It is a checkmate moment, which was, I said, this nigga's devious right here. Devious shit right here. But I respect it. I liked it, that shit. I liked it, that shit.
Yo, you gotta figure it out, because collectively, there would have been an issue. At that point, that momentum was there. So you gotta look and go, every time, like I would look at it and say, how did I used to study Joe and them? I knew everybody in the background. That guy the third guy in the back on the corner. Yeah, they from Highbridge. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I'm like this and that. Like I figured we knew all of them. Like so, if something happened, I could immediately respond to it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then we was in it was an award show. No, it was Chris Lighty's thing. With Joe and them crew was there. Pete and his mans they was going in before us, and they let Joe in and didn't let his people in behind him. And then when I came to the door, I was like, no, you gotta let them in. And it's like yeah, they was gonna let my entourage in, but they stopped a couple guys that was with him. But I'm knowing that this is like Pete and the other one
Rich, so my Rich, him and Rich.
Nah, not Rich. It was another one. It was he was gonna go. That was
Joe?
Yeah, I think he had a baby by Erica Mena. What was his name?
Oh, I think he passed away.
Yeah.
All right, copy.
Yeah. But he was one of the ones out of their little crew that they knew to go for. And I'm like, you don't want to leave them out here because it's going to leave them off balance.
Right.
If his guys that really got him is not there, he's going to be feeling uncomfortable. I'm like, I got them in. So when Joe looked to Pete, and Pete go, nah, we good. It's good. He's like, nah, we good. He said, he got us in. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, he got him in, because I'm like, if he was there and uncomfortable or balanced, he might have made a move that made me have to do something. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then that would have just fucked up the whole thing, because we was really there for the right reasons. Right. You know what I'm saying? With Chris and everything. And then
that's what's up.
So cool. It worked itself out.
Fifth, thanks for coming. Murder, we waiting on the year wrap up. Yayo, salute to you too, man. We gonna get you your roll-ups. Science Spirits, make sure y'all check out the residency here in Vegas. December 27th too.
Yeah, the 27th to the January 4th.
Feel for food, man. Individual war, calling the shots out here. I know you working, so please don't say no gangster it to me. Individual one. See, Fifth even put up the phone records from the conversation that Jim Jones talking about super violating 6ix9ine on the telephone during the trial with Treyway. And then, right there, they gonna have to violate Shorty. So Fifth put all this up into play. But Jimmy is a guy that's always seemed to be like, you gotta be looking out for him, or he gonna turn on you. It's no loyalty, really. It's loyalty to a fault. He the one gonna be like, yo, we ain't all getting paid, homie. So it was like the concept is money. Right? And it was like, yo, I did something for you. Yeah, but you did something with your hand out. You did something expecting something for what you did. And if that didn't come, then it was going to be some real problems. Well, you got to understand, man, it's there's sides to this that you just don't know. You know, some people are not going to be able to interfere with certain cats like that. You know, these some real guys that's been in the streets. Jimmy moved in a way that he haven't really changed, and he hasn't learned anything yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, he hasn't really learned a lot that he should have. He thought, I'm going to do it the way I do it on the streets. And what he learned is that the industry and the streets are two different worlds. It's all gangster, but different types, and you got to evolve your game. Jimmy just never learned to do that.
I play the rules. Cam was the person that got signed. He was the face card, and I understood that, and I made everybody around me understand that. Like, he's the prized possession. He cannot be touched at all. If he get touched, we go down, and that was the method. Even with Jewels, they all know I put my life on the line for this. I've been to trial for this. I've been on America's Most Wanted for this. I've been on gang files for this. I've been on everything you can name. So when people play with me, I get real emotional because I operate off emotions, as they know for all the times they've been with me. It's never been a time that I backed down from any situation in this world, except God. And I've been up against 20, 30 deep by myself where niggas left me by myself. You heard? And I escaped those situations and come back and still give niggas high five. Let's do it. What we doing today?
And you know, Jim, we never talked about that. About that situation.
Any situation. There's been numerous situations.
That situation,
there's been times I've been on the road where there was shootouts. There's been times when my cousins go to jail for 5 years for this that didn't really have to be in jail for this. Fed time. But we take it on the chin like a soldier. Like, people don't understand what this diplomat shit was built about. I'll be watching the gram and I'll be watching these clowns and all these. But boy, if you really get to live this last 20 years that I lived, you would understand, boy. I put everything on the line for this. And I took it with a smile. Even when niggas doubted me, niggas down me, when I was on trial and niggas told me I need to take the plea. Take what plea? We don't take pleas, nigga. You heard? By the grace of God, the trial gets dismissed because they couldn't find enough evidence of a shootout that happened on uptown over Camron. You heard? I want the trial over shit like that. I want the court over shit like that. Every time you see me in the news, it was over diplomats. When I get sued and shit like that, it be over diplomats. When I'm kicking ass, when I come to the club 30 deep, it did what? It made the diplomats look good. You heard? When I'm banging blood, it was good for them, right? It was good when it was good for them. You heard? When it wasn't good for them, oh, nobody wanted to be a part of the Bloods. But when the Bloods became popping and it became the notoriety of the Bloods started becoming, oh, everybody wanted to turn blood. No, I didn't put that on camera because I was glamorizing. I put that on camera because this is what we was going through. And this is what we was affiliated with. And we had a chance to do something great in life, which we did. We broke a lot of barriers. Kids from the middle of the gutter. I don't care if it was from the Bronx or Harlem. We started from nothing. We had no OGs. You heard? We had nobody to tell us what we was doing was right or what we was doing was wrong. We didn't have a blueprint. We had us. We had that love, we had that energy, we had the talent, we had the style, we had the charisma, we had Harlem. And I refuse to let anybody play us for anything short. You heard? Like, the shit we bring to this game, it would never be bring to this game in that fashion again. You heard? So when people get on this radio and try to discredit me in any fashion, I don't do that. I pick niggas up in the midst of whatever because I know what we went through. What we went through was a real thing. Joel's still my favorite rapper today. I told him that ever since I met him at age 16. And even today when he pushed, he just put a record out called Dipped in Coke. You know what I put? I put work, bro. I ain't got time for the frivolous shit. My personal problems has never been about the business. And everybody knows that. You heard? I've done a lot of things off of somebody's ego. A lot of the things that were done right over the diplomats, I feel were done off of good direction. And a lot of times was smart and innovative things came from us, came from me. But a lot of the mistakes that we made were done off of ego, and I was with that. I was totally with it. I'm with the shits. If that's what we doing, that's what we doing. I'm bombing on everybody. Who don't like Cam? Who don't like Jewels? I don't give a fuck if you don't like me. I ain't here for that. And that's what I did. I kept that position. So when I be listening to interviews and niggas trying to play like, boy, don't play with me, boy. Diplomat.
My only problem is this. You don't go on the interviews, B, and start getting mad at dudes because they ain't taking care of you no more. Or the lane ain't there for you no more. It's like, dog, you came in this thing limited. You're not a rapper, dog. You're the muscle. You're the hired help. You're the goon on the streets. Anything that you got out of this is a blessing. Without Camden, without Mase, without all those dudes, you still be in Harlem, either gone upstate anyway. You be going upstate on some going out, wilding out in the club, doing Fed time. You was gonna do that anyway. You come from that. You needed some energy. You was shown a better life. You was shown a better position. But you love that shit. And that's what Jimmy can't, he can't own that. And you crying on radio, dog. You can't cry on the radio because you got emotional because things weren't going well now. Well then, now they going well for you. Because you went to Rock Nation with your tail between your legs. You went to G Unit with your tail between your legs. Then you still come back to Dipset like, hey, bro, I just went out there to try to see what I could get. It's just like, come on. You doing what's best for Jimmy. When Jimmy had the hot record, Jimmy didn't think he needed Camden no more. They ain't doing what's right for me, so I'm going to do for me. I'm hot too now. So you was never really there for the Diplomats. You was there for Jim Jones. You'll protect them as long as it's good for Jim Jones. You see, that to me is the kind of loyalty I don't need. You really still self-serving. And you have no loyalty, in my opinion. And that's why you always on the outskirts. Does anybody go on this side dancing and they dance on the other side, then they go dance over here? That's the type of people you don't want in the circle. They never got your best interests. They always gonna look out for them. They'll protect you as long as it's good for them. They're not thinking about a brotherhood. A brotherhood ain't gonna go over there with Fifth, no matter what. I don't care how hot my record is. If my guy is down, I gotta help him back up. But what I can't do is sit there and go side with the guy that's dumping on him right now. Cause it's best for me. That showed you was the biggest snake in the world. Right there. I would have never trusted him again. He might be the grimiest ghoul, man. I'm in the streets, I'm doing that. I can't deal with you, homie. You at arm's distance now. Cam and Jewel don't owe you nothing. Believe me, you got a lot from Dipset. And you were just the hired help, dog. You were nothing more. As you can see, what rap albums you got out? What do you do right now? Reality TV, right? And all that stuff, right? Goon it out in the streets if that's what you're gonna do. But dog, don't blame nobody else for your own creation of your own position, bro. That's on you. You put yourself in a maze you couldn't get out of. No record labels was checking for Jim Jones. You got put on a record and was rapping because these dudes was penning stuff for you. They gave you another way, another light to get out. You chose a different path, bro. You let that ego get to your head. You start doing things to put Dipset in jeopardy. And we ain't gonna go through it, but I know for a fact what you did. Stealing money, trying to run out the door from promoters. All kind of weirdo type, you know. You was doing man, you did a lot. I'm just gonna say that. You did your fair share. You know what I'm saying? And people had to suffer consequences from that. People run up on Cam and Jewels and was like, yo, man's did X, Y, and Z. And then now they gotta lose a chain or get punked by a bunch of street cats over some you did that ain't had nothing to do with them. Purple City Bird Gang, that ain't had nothing to do with Camden. You've been moving under your own team, own umbrella for a minute. And when it's funny how it's Cam and Fifth and everybody else's fault when things that you've done ain't go well for you. You branched out on your own, did your own thing, right? You had got yourself put in a position. It didn't work for you. Now it's Cam's fault. Now it's Jewel. Somebody should have came out and looked out for Jimmy again. We a brotherhood. It's funny how we brothers every time you in trouble. Man, I did this for you, Cam, and you've been rewarded how many times for it? How many times was you rewarded? You in a privileged position. That's what you supposed to do. Nobody needed Jimmy to rap. They need Jimmy to be there in case somebody step up. And they gotta hurt somebody. Every time y'all get together, we already know it's gonna be a split. Jewels is a junkie. You love the streets. Cam is a businessman. That ain't gonna last. And when you came on stage and y'all had to battle going up against the Locks, I knew then y'all wasn't gonna be together long. Again, after the reunion, seeing Jimmy come on stage and basically individuals, you know, they get together just for business, but Jimmy got his own people, his own crew, all that. And that's cool on Jim Jones' side. But stop, you're a grown-ass man, dog. You damn near 50. If you ain't 50 years old already. And you still, like, looking to blame me for your position. I mean, you go to Rock Nation. And they only signed you. Did they put out any music with Jim Jones? Like, what was your purpose? Was you hired security doing the same thing, crash out missions? What was your purpose? What did they manage for you at Rock Nation? You thought Jay-Z was saving you. He was playing you against Cam, the same way Fifth did. They know who the disloyal one is. The man that's screaming out, I'm loyal, I'm loyal, I'm loyal. That's the one that's always going to betray. That's just all I know, man. So on that note, I want to say shouts out to Kwame Brown Bus Life. Welcome to HDII TV. Sports Talk, Jose Rodriguez, Armando Black TV. And don't forget to go to the Patreon. I'm out.